Hi guys, I'm live again. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry about that. I'm just figuring this all out, trying to learn everything going on. So I'm new to this. I am Greg Benito, the Great Canadian Asshole. Thank you. Welcome. I've started my own podcast here. I am very opinionated on politics. I apologize as well. My camera's here. And it looks like I'm looking at you, and I apologize. And my computer screen is here. So I'm looking over here while I'm talking to you, and I'm kind of going back and forth. But anyway, so thank you. Welcome to my podcast. And if you like what you see, please make sure you subscribe and like and share. Help me grow my audience. I've got a lot to say. I am a Canadian. I am an asshole, and I've got opinions. I want to talk about the U.S. Election. Those of you who are personal friends of mine who follow me on Facebook know Facebook is the only place that I get political. I don't get political in my comedy, and I don't get political anywhere else in my Instagram or anything like that. I do have other hobbies, but hey, if the future sucks, there's no point, is there? Right. So anyway, feel free to let me know that you are watching and that you are there, and I would appreciate it. Like I said, we want to grow this channel. It's new. This is episode 2, the U.S. election. If it looks like dog shit, if it smells like dog shit, if it tastes like dog shit, then it probably is dog shit. Let's begin. I want to go back to 4 years of the media constantly building this image, this hatred. If you understand anything about propaganda and marketing, which is something I was very good at, I've won marketing awards. By the way, I don't know if one of my awards is back here. Anyway, I've got awards everywhere. It was supposed to be back here, but I won an award for marketing. I'm very good at this kind of stuff, and I recognize it. And it's always about psychologically, right? In sales, we used to call it helping them make the decision, right? The media has this figured out. The media knows how to manipulate us, and the media knows how to kind of guide us into thinking the way they want us to think. And that's a real problem because we no longer have true journalism. What we have is activists. And largely what we're seeing going on right now is left-wing activism. I see it in comedy. Comedy is one of the last refuges of free speech, and it's been under attack since, for those of you who are not familiar with comedy, the history of comedy, look up Lenny Bruce. Maybe I'll do a podcast about Lenny Bruce one day and talk about him. But comedy, if it's funny, it's usually true, and that's one of the secrets behind comedy. It's usually true. Another form of entertainment is magic. And the thing about magic is the audience wants to believe. All right. This is important stuff that I'm telling you. The audience wants to believe that it's magic. They want to believe in magic. So it's easy to trick, to get away with it. Right. Well, the media has discovered this now. And this is the age that we live in. This election, after spending 4 years of building up Donald J. Trump, I'm going to turn this light off. Just forgive me here for a sec. It's kind of annoying me. After 4 years of building up this hatred, I was one of those people. All right. I was one of those people. I was a Trump hater. And I'm not going to say any names. And those of you who know me know that for years, I used to run a very successful political blog in my hometown. And we did very well, and I made a lot of contacts and a lot of networks. So I'm not gonna give this away who this person is. But I was speaking to a politician I consider a friend, somebody that I consider honest. He's very honest. And through a conversation, I was very surprised because he is a left-wing politician. And in this conversation, somehow Trump came up, and he started to tell me that, he's through his years of being a politician, he's made friends in Washington, D.C., and he has some contacts down there. And he started to tell me, now I was like most people, I hated Trump. I couldn't figure this. Like, how the hell did this guy I get elected? I still remember the 2016 election. I was at the gym on a treadmill watching CNN, which was my first mistake, watching CNN and just in shock that Donald Trump pulled this off. Boy, If I knew back then what I know now, and that's the problem. It's what we don't know. It's low information voters. It's what the media isn't telling us. It's what's really going on out there that's being suppressed, and it's sad. It's sad because nobody's trying to stop it. And that's what I want to talk about. I mean, I could do podcasts till the cows come home on this and discuss this stuff. Right before the election, I remember his name was Scheer, and I've got to start bringing up screens and getting a little bit. This guy, he was the Attorney General of Pennsylvania. He tweeted out the day before the election something to the effect. Why? I mean, this is an election official. Would you tweet that out right before the election? Who was he talking to? Who was he sending a message out to? Okay, it was almost like he was sending a message saying, you know, don't worry about this. We've got this covered. I'm not saying that it means they committed fraud or that they rigged the election, but by the time I'm done, like I said, what's the theme of this podcast? If it looks like dog shit, smells like dog shit, and tastes like dog shit, it probably is dog shit. Ah, man, where do we begin? COVID-19. That's another whole issue out there. All right. I've never said that the virus isn't real, and that's not what I'm saying here. But what I am going to say, the virus is definitely real. It's definitely out there. What is debatable is how deadly is it, and what's really behind this pandemic? Is it politically motivated? I don't know. There's a lot of evidence to support that as well. For example, what did the Democrats do? Well, they used COVID-19 as an excuse to push for mail-in voting. All right. The irony is, and the hypocrisy of this is that the left for 4 years talked about how the elections are broken, how Donald Trump, they couldn't accept that Donald Trump got elected because, you know, and I remember John Oliver, I can't stand watching him anymore, on his show on November 23rd. I've got a bad memory, and for some reason I remember this. On November 23rd, 2019, he did a show where they showed how vulnerable these Dominion voting systems are, these machines, and they showed how easy they are to basically alter the information and flip votes. By the way, side note, and again, take this with a grain of salt because I cannot confirm it. I'm only going on what I've seen on other podcasts. Today, allegedly, information has come out that they have found that the Chinese government paid $400 million through a Swiss bank account to purchase Dominion. Okay. This is where I sit there and go, I got to give this one a probability rating. I'm going to give it a 60% that is probably true. Something in my gut just says maybe not. All right. With that being said, we go back to this election and we see these things that are happening. They pushed for this. And something else that was very fishy was, especially in PA, but some of these states, especially swing states, they changed the rules of the election at the last minute. This is something that the media is not reporting on or talking about or telling you, but they changed the rules of the election. And that is why we have these problems that we have today. And this is where Donald Trump's legal claims are actually coming. All right. A lot of people are stuck on fraud and everything else. Yes, there was fraud. All right. We've seen the evidence. We've got people that have sworn affidavits. We've seen video of them, hauling in wagons and tote bags into the back rooms in Detroit. We've seen video evidence on, it's out there if you want to look for it. The media sure isn't going to show it to you. So you got to go look for it yourself, but it's out there. And what they've done is there's video of where GOP witnesses to the count were thrown out. A PA judge ruled that they can't do that. They still defied the judge's order and wouldn't let them in the count. There's video of them in Detroit actually putting Bristol board up, covering the windows. Why would you do that? To hide the count. The biggest mystery, and I'm just talking from what I witnessed. I sat up on election night. I went and played pool. And I sat up, I came home, I sat up and I watched Crowder. I think it was Crowder's podcast. And so I was up till 2, 3 in the morning and I was watching this thing. And what I'm noticing on Crowder's podcast is they're talking about Trump is winning in the states he needs to win. I think it was down to 4 states. He only needed to win 3 of them. He was only losing in 1 of them, and he was up 60% in those states. Now, this was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then they said, okay, well, apparently they've stopped counting, blah, blah, blah. Some of us went to bed. Some of us, got up the next day. All right, what happened? And suddenly they stopped counting. And what happened was 173,000 votes, all of them for Biden, came out. All right. That is suspicious. That is beyond suspicious. The other thing that is very suspicious about this, again, it doesn't mean that it was rigged, but you've just got to, you got to be real, man. You got to look at this and you got to be real with yourself and you got to be realistic about this. The down ballot, the Republicans, this is what blows my mind. The Republicans did not lose one single seat in this election. In fact, they gained, I think it was 13 seats, and we still have a runoff election in Georgia that's going on, which is something else that needs to be talked about because the fuckery going on down there already is insane. But again, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this stuff out there that the media is not talking about, because that's my whole point. I can't stand this. I need to know the truth. I need to get to the bottom of it. I need to understand the truth. And it just frustrates the shit out of me when you see these reports. We live in the age of the internet, and we've got to get out there. We've got to find our own information. We cannot trust mainstream media anymore. They're not going to give it to you. They're not going to tell you what's up. All right. So we've got to be vigilant. We've got to go out and look for it ourselves. There was some fuckery going on. I wanted to talk about Trump derangement syndrome. I hated the guy. I got to get back to that story. I hated the guy. And I literally had to ask myself, why do I hate this guy? What? Why do I hate a man? He's not even my president. I live in Canada, man. I live in the Great White North. But I hated him. And I started to realize why. Why do I have this strong, powerful emotional attachment? I was suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. That's what a lot of people are. And what it is it's from years of being gaslit by the media, the New York Times being the worst, MSNBC. I used to watch Rachel Maddow even. And it's just become this constant barrage of everything Trump has done wrong. And it's a lie. It's completely false. It is such a lie. I'm not trying to get anyone on Trump's side because I'm Canadian. It doesn't fucking matter to me. It doesn't, if you're interested in the truth and you want to get to the bottom of the truth, evil always comes in disguised as good, always. And what does the left do? Well, they latch onto social issues like racism, homophobia. They attack these are very easy issues for people to identify. Let's be real. We all know racism is wrong. All right. We know this. Yet they want us to believe that it is really a massive problem, that is such a big problem that it needs to, and that Trump somehow has made it worse, and that everyone who supports Donald Trump is a white supremacist. I've been called a racist. I've been called a racist so many goddamn times now that it's lost its thing, because the problem is the left, you fucked up. You fucked up, lefties, and you fucked up because you called way too many people racists. I've been called a homophobe. I'm going to tell you a quick story. When I was in college in Toronto back in 1990, the first friends I made, I was in film school. And we used to have to go down to Church Street, which at the time I didn't know was the gay section of Toronto. And there was a camera place down there that it was the only place you could get 8mm film. So I met this guy, Doug, and he introduced me to anime, by the way. He introduced me to this film, Akira. So anyway, he was the first friend that I had made. And we started going to this camera shop together. And we would take this, because Humber, where I went to college, was kind of out on the outside in Rexdale, or outside of Toronto. But anyway, we would go down there. So anyway, we became friendly with these two guys that worked at the camera store. So I'm an 18-year-old kid. I'm living in Toronto, first time in my life, and I have no friends. So I made friends with these guys, and we all started hanging out, and it was a lot of fun. And I remember we had hung out I think I'd known them now for about 4 months, and we would hang out 2 or 3 times a month. I mean, we weren't like tight, close friends, but we would hang out a couple times a month. And I remember coming back on the subway with this guy, Doug, and we'd had a few drinks. And I remember I said to him, I said, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear those guys were gay. And he starts laughing hysterically at me. And I realized, wow, that's one of the things. I came from a small town, man. I came from small town Fort Erie, where you kind of were taught that, I don't know, there was back then, this is the 80s and 90s, there was something wrong with you if you were gay, And we grew up, and this was an experience in my life when I was 18 years old, where I realized how much I had in common with these guys and how they never made me feel uncomfortable. It was not what I expected or believed. And that they were actually just like me, other than the fact that their sexual preference, or I guess that's offensive now. You can't say that anymore. They liked men. I like women. But I learned something about them. I learned that we're the same. And these guys were into the same. They were into sports. They were into film. They were geeks like me. They were into film and television. And it was just one of those things. So I don't know what it was called back then, if it was Pride or whatever, but they had asked me to go and to attend this event. It was a Pride event, and this was Toronto, the early 90s, and I went. And this is the thing that drives me nuts about today. See, I went to Pride, to this gay event. I went at a time when it wasn't virtuous to go. I went at a time when, and I never really admitted it to anybody that I went after. I went because I knew it was wrong. Sorry, not the Pride event. I knew that the treatment of gays was wrong. I knew that they were normal people, and I used to say to my roommates back then, that I made a prediction. I predicted will and grace. I made these predictions and said within 20 years it's going to be normal. We're going to see this on TV. We're going to see gay relationships, portrayed on TV shows and everything. And I remember saying, get used to it. It's coming. That was me back then. Today, it's all about virtue signaling. It's all about showing people that you're something else, that you're, and people are so quick to be on the right side. And this is the trick that the left has used, because they play on people's insecurities, and they play on people. They need to be the first one to say, hey, Black Lives Matter. Hey, I support gay rights. Hey, it's the stupidest fucking thing. It's the most racist thing you can do, by the way. If you're a white person and you need to take up the cause for blacks, when blacks are literally out there going, this is all bullshit, and you're out there smashing cars and destroying businesses, listen, you don't need to put on that cape, dude. You young kids, if they probably won't even watch this. They're 5 minutes in. If they do, they'll try and get me canceled. I've already been trying. I don't even do this in my comedy, and they've tried to cancel me already. But you're the racist, man. You're the racist. If you're the one out there putting on that cape, and talking about white privilege and how you have to go to the defense of the poor black people, that's you being racist, dude. All right? Because I'm going to tell you right now, Donald Trump, despite this election being rigged, which is another thing that doesn't make sense, got more votes from blacks, from natives, from Latinos. He got 30-something% Latino vote. From the LGBT. Sorry, guys. It's late. I got to drink some water. From the gay community, he got more votes. He increased his votes than any other Republican president and still lost. All right. That again, what's the theme of this? If it smells like dog shit, if it looks like dog shit, it probably is dog shit. You're going to tell me that Joe Biden got more, that not only did he set a record, but he got more votes than Obama did from the black community? All right. Is it possible? Probably. I don't know. It just doesn't seem possible. But again, we can't say. What I can say is this. Look, stop and think. There is enough bullshit here. There is enough anomalies here. There is enough going on with this election to be able to say we need to at least investigate it. I want to go back to we watched Joe Biden's rallies. We would watch Trump's rallies that the media wouldn't show you. But if you watched them on YouTube, you'd see like he was packing in stadiums. People were coming out and going crazy. The enthusiasm for Trump was off the charts. And then you'd watch a Biden rally and it was crickets. There was hardly anyone there. There was no enthusiasm for this guy whatsoever. And the one thing that drives me nuts is they go, it's possible because people hated him that much. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it that people were that motivated by hate to get out and vote. In my opinion, in my experience, if somebody is that dissatisfied, they probably don't vote. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. But I don't think I am. But I did predict this. And if you go back on my Facebook, which, by the way, I'm banned right now. If you go on my Facebook and look, I literally called this all out. But it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard to see this come. And I literally said, and I said it to my ex-wife, and I said it to my girlfriend and whoever else was listening at the time. And I said, mark my words, this is what's going to happen. Trump on election day is going to win this election. And then what you're going to see is you're going to see in the days that follow and the hours after the election, suddenly all these votes come in for Biden. I mean, it was clear to me what they were doing. It was obvious to me why they were pushing for mail-in voting, why they were doing it all. Because it's the easiest way to rig an election. Hey, man, I'm Italian. Oh, this is going to be racist, Greg. Better be careful what you say here. I'm Italian, man. What did Al Capone used to say? Vote early and vote often, right? Of course, man. And what did Capone used to do? He was known for rigging the union elections, okay? This is part of history right now. This is part of history that we're all experiencing. So I'm going to take a drink here real quick. To keep talking. Remember, if you like what I'm saying, if you think, please share my post, help me grow my audience. Please like and subscribe and smash that like button. Give me a subscribe. I don't get paid. I probably won't. I'm taking a big risk doing this. I do have other things. I am a stand-up comedian, which COVID is kind of killing right now. But I just want to get the truth out. I want to talk about things that are bothering me. So I just got a notification. Bill Barr has turned on us. Well, that's interesting. I'm not sure Bill Barr was ever with you, to be honest. All right. I remember when Trump hired him, and I remember thinking at the time I was doing a podcast with my cousin, and I remember saying on that podcast that Bill Barr, he just wants the job. I remember saying that. I don't know if those podcasts are still up. You can go back and my opinion of Bill Barr, aside from the fact that he looks like my dad. I just got this vibe off the guy that he just wanted his job, and he would say anything. I said this back before when Trump hired him, that he just wanted the job. He would say anything to get that job. I find it funny that it took forever, for the FBI to get involved and the DOJ to get involved to investigate this, and suddenly go, now Bill Barr is coming out and saying there isn't enough evidence to support widespread voter fraud. Listen, guys, I just want you to use your heads here. If you're watching this, Bill Barr is going to be out of a job. This is a man that knows that if Biden wins, he's most likely going to be fired and replaced as the director of whatever the fuck he does over there. This is a guy that's trying to save his job. So I don't know. The reluctance, number one, to even do an investigation is all I need to know. I mean, there's two ways to look at it. There's those people that go, well, unless there's actual evidence there, but then those same people we put murderers away based on eyewitness testimony, based on, evidence. We put murderers away, even though nobody ever saw the murder. There's no evidence, no video of Jeffrey Dahmer killing those people, those kids, there's none of that, but he went to prison. It's a sad state of affairs. It is a sad, sad state of affairs. And what we are seeing is we're seeing something much, much bigger going on out there. I find it interesting that Donald Trump lost this election, yet we watched Disney lose their shirt by pushing the social justice narrative. We watched, first it was Major League Baseball. The NBA was by far the worst. Even the NFL got involved with pushing the social justice. Disney, the shit that goes on over there with Star Wars, with these social justice warriors wanting to cancel people, this cancel culture, all this nonsense. This says something right here. When the NBA, and I use this as an example all the time, when You've got Kobe Bryant, arguably the second greatest player, because obviously behind me, sorry, on this side, obviously I've got Michael Jordan is one of my all-time favorites and one of the all-time greats. You got Kobe Bryant on the legendary LA Lakers team, and they're in the finals, the NBA finals, and it's during COVID. Like people are home. Most people are not working. You would think people would be starved for entertainment, and yet the NBA took a 70% ratings crash. What does that tell you? These are not Joe Biden supporters. These are people that are supporting Trump, because Trump is the guy they're blaming for all this. Another interesting fact, and this is a fact, you can look it up. This is not my opinion. All the trouble, all the cities that are running in the red, all the cities that during one of the greatest economic booms we've experienced in decades, all the cities that are running in the red, which means they're running like they're out of money, they're struggling. All the violence, which the media is not reporting on, all the rioting, the looting, the destroying of businesses, which the media doesn't, like, these guys kill me that they don't want to report on this. All the people that lost their lives over this stuff, all Democrat-run cities and states. That is important. That is something that you guys, you need to share this video. You need to get it out there. You need to look at this stuff and stop relying on the media to tell you what's going on, because they're not. They're lying. What's worse than lying, they're leaving out information. They are creating this. What's the word, man? I don't want to say willful ignorance, because that would be on us to be willful, and some of us are. Some of us are, but we have been so conditioned, so mentally and emotionally abused by the media over the last couple of years to believe that Donald Trump is this fucking horrible guy. He's look at around you. What has Trump done to you? What has Trump done to you? Highest unemployment rate amongst blacks in history. The U.S. economy, even though, it was recovering under Obama, it got better under Trump. Okay. Trump single-handedly was bringing back jobs to Michigan, and yet he lost. He got destroyed in Michigan. Let's talk about the oil industry in PA. He got destroyed in those states. Come on, man. None of this makes, in the words of Joe Biden, come on, man. None of this makes sense. And yet we're supposed to go, nothing to see here. Joe Biden won. He didn't just win. He won by record numbers. Oh, by the way, today, even though a judge told them not to, they accidentally wiped one of the Dominion voting machines. So they can't do that. The other thing that kills me, the Democrats are trying to, in every way they can, stop any kind of investigation. That's your first clue right there. Come on. If you think this election was legit and that Joe Biden won this thing legitimately, why the hell are they trying to stop it? Because if Joe Biden won for real, you would think he would want every one of those votes to be investigated. Because what has he got to lose? Then we all shut the fuck up. Letting them do this investigation, letting them investigate all these incidences, all these anomalies. The FBI should have been involved, and I'm sorry, they just took up the investigation yesterday, and today went, there's not enough evidence. That's bullshit, man. That's complete bullshit. Yeah, I know some people are going to, you're biased. You're one of them. Look, I don't believe in God. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a Jesus junkie. I'm not a Christian. I just know what's right and what's wrong. And it's as simple as that. I've never seen, look at the Proud Boys, for example. The media wants you to believe that the Proud Boys are the enemy. These are the white supremacists that are out there, yet their leader is black. Yet if you were to dig hard enough, they accept everybody. It's just a bunch of guys that like to drink. Guess what? They got gay guys in there too. It's just guys, they only have one rule: if you can fight. It was started as a joke. It wasn't even meant to be anything. And it's turned into this thing because the media needed a boogeyman. They needed a monster to create. Look, man, it's too late. We are already heading into dark times. It's affecting everybody. It's affecting us in Canada. It's affecting the United States. Donald Trump was the only thing standing in the way. And I'm going to do more podcasts about it and talk about it. But currently I'm banned. I'm banned on Facebook, which is another issue. I'm going to talk about that as well. Big tech and how they basically have handed this over. But what my goal is just to educate people. And I probably will get banned. I probably will lose. Like, I noticed my first podcast, I had people popping in. This is my second one. I've probably already been flagged I probably have already lost an audience, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going because, is it too late? I don't know. I really don't know. I just know that we've got to educate. We've got to stop holding back information from people. We've got to let people make up their own minds. All right. Don't take my word for it. Just take whatever I'm telling you and go investigate yourself. Go look it up yourself. If you think I'm full of shit, decide for yourself. Figure this out for yourself. Stop letting the media tell you what to do. Anyway, guys, that's 30 minutes. I'm going to try and keep these to about 30 minutes every time. Thanks for watching. Join me again. Subscribe. Join me on my next one. I'm going to try and do a couple of these a day, whatever subjects are coming up. I probably missed some stuff. I always do. But anyway, I will be performing on December 8th in Hamilton. Oh yeah, that's a good one, eh? I can't even fucking remember. Doesn't matter. Probably going to be canceled anyway. But follow me on Facebook, The Great Canadian. If you want my comedy. If you just want to know about my comedy career, The Great Canadian Asshole on Facebook. I go by The Great Canadian Asshole. It's a long story. I used to be a political blogger. And, the thing is, there should be a modern, updated term for an asshole. What is an asshole? An asshole is the guy who says things that you don't necessarily like, who you don't agree with. But he's speaking the truth, and that's why he's an asshole. And that's my goal, to speak my truth. To talk about what I know. My mind can be changed. Like I said, I hated Trump. And then I woke up one day and I realized, man, this is not right. The media is lying about this guy. And I actually look at the guy and go, wow, he accomplished a lot as a president. He gave $500 million to black-owned businesses to create black jobs. Where was the media on that one? He signed 4 historic peace deals in the Middle East. Where was the media on that one? Do you have any idea what a big deal that was? And allegedly, there's 5 others waiting to be signed. That's going to be gone if Biden gets in. All right, that's going to be done and gone. The media never told you about any of that, did they? No, the media just wants you to think Orange Man bad and grab him by the pussy because that's all they got. Never mind the fact that there's videos going around of Biden saying the most racist things on the planet. If somebody watching this, tell me what Trump said that was racist. Please put it in the comments. I would love to see this because he called these countries in Africa shitholes. See, this is the problem with the left. This is the problem with the left. We've got to start pushing back against these guys. You criticize the Chinese government. You criticize anything to do with China. You call the virus, because it came from China, the Chinese flu, and automatically the leftists will go, that's racist. Like, you're not, this is how they shut you down, right? They use these social issues, this guilt, right? They use virtual signaling, and what they do is they prey on people's insecurities. They prey on people's desire to fit in. So it's basically what they do is they slander people, they cancel people, they try and shut people up. If they don't like what you have to say, they'll try and cancel you. They try and find out where you work. They try and find out, where you live, and they dox you. That's been happening during this election, and it's just insanity what's going on. All right, it's unbelievable. Somebody asked me, Greg, how do we do this? How do we fight back? Okay, listen, we got to stop. The protests don't do shit. The protests don't matter because the media isn't going to cover it. They're going to cover it how they want to cover it, if they cover it at all anyway. No, what we need to start doing is we need to start pressuring our politicians to make laws. And the first law that we need to make is a law that says employers cannot fire an employee based on opinions or views expressed on social media. End of story. And if you do that and you make that law, cancel culture goes away. That's it. You've taken away their fucking power. These whiny little tattletale sucks who, I don't like what he said. Donald Trump is a good president. Get him fired. Don't go to his comedy show. He's a jackass. Fuck no, fuck that. All right. We need to make that. We need to make that a law, because as soon as you make that a law and you say that employers, you cannot fire anyone now. See, because what they do is they pressure the owner of that business. Okay. Let's say you're a cook or a waiter at a mom and pop restaurant, and you make a post on Facebook. Let's say you support Kyle Rittenhouse, which is, I'm going to do a podcast on that too. I support Kyle Rittenhouse. Oh my God, he supports a murderer. He supports a mass shooter. He supports a terrorist. Well, I'm going to get my friends and we're going to go to that business and we're going to tell them we're never coming to your store if you do not fire this guy right away. Not only that, we'll protest out in front of your business and scare your customers away because we are the mighty left and we are the righteous. Fuck that noise. Okay? I can tell you right now, I don't listen to the media. I watch the live videos. I watched the Kyle Rittenhouse videos. I watched them raw without media commentary. I watched the Floyd shooting or the killing. I watched the Blake, James Blake. I've watched them all. And the spin that the media puts on all of this, the media is definitely the villains here. And we've got to start recognizing it. And I believe 74 million people voted for Trump. I believe that, not one of those votes is contested, by the way. And guess who's pushing for investigations? Trump. So makes you wonder, right? If the elections were rigged, why would Trump want all these votes audited? Why would he want, if they did any monkey business on behalf of Trump, why are they pushing for investigations, and why are Team Biden and why is the left and the Democrats trying to stop it? We're in trouble, folks, man. We got to start paying attention. Anyway, I'm past my 30 minutes. I appreciate it. Join me again. I'll have something else come up tomorrow. Please like and share. Please help me get this out there because I already know I'm going to be shadow banned by YouTube and by their algorithm, and most likely I'm not going to grow my audience too quickly. But I've got a lot to say. I've got a lot of interesting points to make. So please join me. Also, I will be, if you want to see just my comedy, again, you can follow me on Facebook, Gregory Benito Comedy, also The Great Canadian Asshole on Facebook. You can follow me there. Also, I'm going to be starting another channel just based on fish. As you can see behind me here, I've got this tank. I've got over 10 tanks. This is the most mild of my tanks. So this is just your little average Molly, some Tetras and stuff in there. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Those who did, I appreciate it. Stay safe and keep up the fight.